On Ag Weekly, visiting the farm without leaving the classroom. More than 6,000 students from across the country got a virtual look at farms in the town of Parishville last week, including sixth graders at Wiley Intermediate in Watertown. American Dairy Association Northeast teamed up with the farm to provide the virtual tour, hosted by farmer Patricia Gilbert, who answered questions about life on the farm, animal care, and sustainability on the farm. Gilbert says it is important to educate students on where their food comes from and how milk gets from her farm to the table.